Hey, and welcome back to the Business Real Talk. On this episode, we're going to talk about what it looks like to multiply your message so you can expand your reach quickly and consistently. Now, let's get real. You're dreaming of having your message known and be felt by millions. The idea of going from best kept secret to known expert is something that you're ready and prepared for. And with the amount of people online right now, the potential is there. There's a staggering statistic that shares that internet users are spending more time on social media right now more than ever before, up to 150 minutes a day. And then the question becomes, how do you get your message into the hands, hearts, and ears of more people? Now, what we need to talk about is why the standard ways of doing things and the conventional wisdom seems to be to just create more content. And it's built around this idea of huge teams. I'm talking Gary Vee and Alex Hermosi level budgets and people following you around, recording you to mass produce hundreds of pieces of content a week. But the reality is, you don't have time for that. You're not looking to be another content creator or online influencer. You want to influence change and transformation in the lives of your clients. And you've got the offer that does that. And you want to spend your time with those clients, not on learning a new marketing trend every single week. Now, the reality is, reach has drastically dropped over the last couple of years. And right now, what we're seeing is that only 9.34% of your audience on Instagram is actually seeing your content. And on Facebook, it's even lower, down to 4.32%, which means not only are you trying to extend the reach that you have with new audiences, but you're trying to maintain the reach that you have with your current audience. And your next move, and maybe you've already played your hand at it, is maybe trying paid media ads and PR, that whole bit. Only you're only seeing waves of success with that. And sure, people see you, but you start to fade into the background. Now, those conventional ideas of hiring a whole team, mass producing content, and spending tons of money on paid media, none of those options are wrong per se, but you're here to make waves and for industry breaking opportunities and the kind that get your message that spreads like wildfire. So in this episode, we're going to break it all down and I'll show you what has allowed myself and my clients to go from unknown best kept secrets to go-to thought leaders and game changers. But there's a missing piece to expanding your reach and having your message reach the masses. It comes down to having the right message in front of the right people so that your message can live on past your need to always being on. Now, I want to jump right into it and share that the goal here was not just to be seen or heard. That's simply momentary. It fades with the next wave of trends and influence. The key has always been to be remembered, because hearing that's inspiring is fleeting, because inspiration comes and goes. But hearing I can't stop thinking about you brings a whole other level of reach because it's infinite. Think of it this way. If you leave a mark on someone and your message is deeply felt and remembered, that's the difference between them directly engaging with you and them sharing your message with others for you as well. They don't just tell one person about it, they tell anyone that will listen. Because right now, your reach is drastically limited by your network. You can share day and night and you will grow, but when others share for you, they exponentialize your reach and your authority. It's just like wildfire. A message that gets spread is like a spark that ignites this wildfire. It starts small, but it quickly catches on, spreading rapidly and consuming everything in its path. Now, I want to share with you exactly what this has looked like for me inside of my own business. Just a few months ago, I woke up to 50 new people on my email list, nearly 100 friend requests, and DMs from so many people. I had no idea what had happened. Initially, I thought, oh my gosh, this is just another form of spam. And I had a woman who had popped into my DMs and very directly stated, I want to work with you. Do you have any one-on-one options? And after the shock wore off, I asked her a few questions. Hey, did you go through my bingeable authority already and see a little bit more about what we do? The answer was no. I asked, have you been inside of our community to learn a little bit more about what I do? The answer again was no. Yet here she was, ready to spend multiple five figures to working with me. And she had actually never had any contact with me. Now, the reason was I had done a small training for a group of just 1,000 people, sharing my innovative and revolutionary approach to how to get ready to buy leads. And it had left such a mark that dozens of people who had attended the training or listened to it afterwards had shared it with others and started speaking about what I had shared as if it was just a normal part of conversation. Now, what I want you to gain from this is to realize that your message is meant to do the heavy lifting. Multiplying your message starts with having a message that gets remembered, which leads us to point number 2, how you actually craft that memorable message that expands your reach. Now, at this point, you're probably chomping at the bit trying to figure out what makes a message that gets remembered and therefore repeated. Now, I'm going to break down for you what we call our triple R formula. So let me break down for you how the triple R formula works. It starts with having a resonant message. Now, having a resonant message is crucial for effectively being able to communicate your ideas, values, and goals to your target audience. Now, a resonant message is one that strikes a chord with people. It evokes an emotion and it leaves a lasting impact. Now, here's 3 of the reasons why having that resonant message becomes so important. First, it captures their attention. Now, in a world where we're filled with information and distractions, this resonant message is going to stand out. It's going to grab the attention of your audience amidst the noise and makes them take notice of what you have to say. Next, it engages their emotions. A resonant message not only allows us to speak deeply to our audience, it taps into the emotional core of your audience. Now, it's no secret that emotions are powerful motivators. And when your message connects with people on an emotional level, it becomes memorable and compelling. Now, last but not least, is it enhances memorability. Now, a message that resonates is more likely to be remembered, which is the key here. We want people to be able to remember the things that we shared, and that's only going to come from when we evoke those strong emotions that they feel like they can relate to and makes your message stick in their minds. Think about how Nike leveraged their Just Do It campaign. This campaign was launched back in 1988, and since then, it's become one of the most iconic and enduring brand messages in advertising history. Now, those 3 simple words left a mark on not only the athletic shoe industry, but business as a whole. The reason why is they found a way to take a boring and ordinary concept, athletic shoes, and give it life, emotion, and connection. The Just Do It message remains deeply resonant because it taps into this universal human values, the emotions and aspirations. It's a reminder that determination, perseverance, and self-belief that are going to lead to the remarkable achievements, whether on the field, in the gym, or in life. This is why resonance becomes such a powerful aspect of having a message that gets remembered. Now, the second R in a triple R formula is relevancy. Having a relevant message is important because it allows you to connect with your target audience in a meaningful and impactful way. Now, let's think about it this way. Your relevancy in your message is going to speak directly to the needs, interests, and concerns of your audience right now, making them more likely to engage, understand, and respond. Now, 3 of the big factors to this are that it's going to allow you to drive action. A relevant message actually motivates people to take action because when your message speaks to that problem that your audience faces so deeply, it can prompt them to take action to solve that problem because it really speaks to their specific and unique needs, making that purchase or signing up and advocating for that next step in that process. It also creates a personalization process. A relevant message not only shows that you care about your audience as individuals, but it tailors your message to their interests and their needs, creating a sense of personalization that fosters a stronger bond, which leads to us being able to build more credibility. A relevant message not only showcases your understanding of your audience's needs, it also enhances your credibility because as people learn more about you, they learn that they're more likely to trust the information that directly addresses their specific concerns. Now, let me give you an example of this. Zappos right now may be a well-known brand, but when they first started out, they were struggling. Now, they use the tagline powered by service. Now, Zappos' emphasis on exceptional customer service and hassle-free returns set them apart in the online shoe and fashion industry, eventually leading to widespread recognition. Now, what you don't understand is that Zappos was started in 1999 when online shopping was relatively new. The founder understood that there were a lot of uncertainties associated with online shoe shopping, that consumers were going to be hesitant to buy shoes online due to concerns about fit, comfort, and the hassle of returning those products. This insight led them to create a customer-centric approach that focused on service as a new way to build trust and overcome those barriers. As a result, Zappos became one of the largest online shoe retailers in the world, dominating the online market. Now, some of the reasons why this worked so well is that they were able to create word of mouth growth. Zappos' dedication to service created created a positive feedback loop. Satisfied customers were now sharing their experiences with friends and family, leading to organic growth through that word of mouth. It also created customer loyalty and repeat business. You've heard me talk a lot about how retention becomes one of the most pure profit strategies. Now, Zappos's exceptional service cultivated this strong customer loyalty. This loyalty translated into repeat business and customer retention, contributing significantly to the company's revenue growth. And last but not least is it created a positive brand perception. Zappos's reputation for exceptional customer service contributed to a positive brand perception and helped them stand out in a competitive market. But more importantly, what you don't realize is that Zappos understood the underlying need and gap in the market space and understood how to fill that with a very relevant message, which leads us to our third R, radical. You need a message that addresses those deep-seated issues. A radical message has the potential to inspire change by pushing far more significant and disruptive shifts in thinking and action. This can serve as a catalyst for movements, revolutions, and paradigm shifts, which is exactly what it takes to create a message that becomes a movement, which leads us to how it fuels innovation. Now, a radical message often challenges the traditional thinking and encourages innovative solutions in the market space. This can inspire individuals and organizations to start thinking creatively and explore new possibilities, leaving you at the front line of that revolution. Now, a great example of this was Poo-Pourri. If you haven't heard about it, they had a great slogan of spritz the bowl before you go. Now, Poo-Pourri's straightforward and cheeky message addressed the awkward topic of bathroom odor with humor and leading to a widespread recognition. Now, what they did is they took this taboo topic, a private topic that people didn't typically talk about, bathroom odor, and it took it from relative obscurity in the marketplace to becoming a well-known brand. And the reason that this happened is when they leveraged a radical message that addressed this taboo topic in a very humorous and unconventional way. Now, what it allowed us to do is depart from the typical way that was being done in this traditional market space. This approach not only helped them to stand out in a crowded market, but it resonated with audiences, driving to their bottom line growth. Now, Poo-Pourri's founder, Susie Battis, recognized the universal and relatable issues of bathroom odor, because let's get real, we all have it. She understood that many people felt uncomfortable discussing this topic openly or seeking solutions beyond the traditional air fresheners. Now, the openness about this taboo topic skyrocketed Poo-Pourri's growth, and it allowed them to embrace the challenge of discussing this bathroom odor, that topic that most people would shy away from completely due to its sensitive nature. Now, their willingness to directly address the issue head on was a radical departure from that traditional marketing norm. As a result, it created a taboo into an opportunity. To saw this opportunity to address this common but avoidable problem. She believed that by creating a product that effectively prevented bathroom odors and presenting it in a humorous and relatable way, she could break down the barriers surrounding the topic, which led to creating more conversations. Poo-Pourri's radical messaging strategy sparked conversations, and people went on to share their videos with friends, family, often tagging them in posts and even sending direct links, leading to an organic word-of-mouth marketing. Now, Poo-Pourri's radical message helped them establish a standout brand identity, and the humorous and candid approach set them apart from more conservative competitors in the air freshener and personal care market. Now, as a result, it created a cultural shift. Whether or not you realize it, Poo-Pourri's success contributed to a cultural shift in advertising. The brand demonstrated that by addressing these taboo topics in a lighthearted and engaging way, it could be effective in inspiring other companies to take similar creative risks. This is why having the triple R formula within your messaging is what creates that memorability and repeatability within your market space. Now, remember, the more a message can get remembered, the more it gets repeated to others, and therefore exponentializing our reach. The triple R formula is exactly the baseline of what turns a message into a movement. And in just a minute, I'm going to break down for you how we use this formulaic approach within our Easy Yes method to allow you to take over the industry and get your message heard. Now, while a memorable message can catch on like wildfire, it's when it's combined with the mechanisms that allow you to amplify that message that takes it to the next step, which leads us to point number 3. Dialing in your messaging amplifiers. Now, a lot of businesses start to feel like a small fish in a big pond, and it makes sense. On average, there's over 5.1 million new businesses that hit the market every single year, which leads to a growing need and ever-growing competition for attention. But understanding that the goal here has never been to add to the noise of a vanilla message, and that it starts with having a message that gets remembered, there are key factors that allow us to take your refined and memorable message and now amplify it. So let's talk about some messaging amplifiers. The first and oftentimes most overlooked is borrowing audiences. What a lot of people don't realize is your opportunity to expand your reach and your message starts with how you can actually leverage people who already have a built-in audience. Now, this can look like sharing content with other people's audiences through a Facebook group, through podcast guesting, etc. The key core factor to this is not looking at the size of the audience, but rather understanding how to relate to the audience that's currently there. So many people ask me, where can I find premium clients? The reality is premium clients are hanging out in all the same places that you are right now. The difference is your message is what connects with them. Now, a key core factor to how borrowing audiences become so powerful is when you also can borrow their influence. Now, showing up in someone's Facebook group and simply sharing content means that we're borrowing their audience, but not necessarily their influence. When we borrow influence, what this means is that we're allowing someone else who recommends or shares us to their audience for us. So a great way to do this are obviously we can leverage affiliates, but also just finding people who are willing to share the message that you share as well, because it significantly impacts their audience. Borrowing audiences and influences only compounds the impact that can be felt through amplifying our message, which leads us to our next step, which is wildfire content. This is where we, again, can turn that message into a movement. An easy way to do this is to recognize what makes that consumption of your content easy. Now, a key factor to what we do to create wildfire content isn't just simply putting out more content everywhere we can. What it comes down to is actually understanding what deeply connects with your audience to create that deeper connection and leverages that triple R formula inside of their content strategy. Now, right now, it may look like you're just showing up. You are maybe doing some workshops, you're running webinars, you're creating more content. And while you're getting people to listen, it's not necessarily taking off and creating the wildfire. Now, the reality is behind wildfire content is that you have to understand the psychology and the human behavior behind what makes people actually care. So some of the key factors that we take into consideration when it comes to wildfire content is not expecting that one singular piece of content is going to do that work for you. It's understanding that it's the culmination and the identification of the process that people go through in order to get to a point of feeling like they've actively made a decision that what you're saying makes sense to them. We do this through several different formulas, one of which being through our bingeable authority system. Simply put, this allows us to create a consumption process that allows people to quickly understand what it is that you do and really creates that buy-in without spending months and months to do that. The key behind wildfire content is not allowing for there to be a big gap in time in order to understand if you're someone that they're willing to listen to and therefore share. You want to be able to create that impact quickly and effectively, which means that your content needs to create a bingeability that allows people to immediately understand that. It's no longer a reality of needing tons of touch points for someone to become a raving fan. You can hop on Netflix and find a TV show and become a raving fan overnight. And the reason is that one of the key factors to wildfire content is recognizing the power behind bingeability, creating that return on somebody becoming that raving fan. Is exactly why our bingeable authority system is so powerful. It allows you to bring in your audience and quickly create raving fans using our mimic decision-making formula baked into a bingeable sales system. Now, another way that we do this is throughout our content, again, allowing for our content to build upon each other. We call this a compounding effect. What this allows us to do is create one piece of content that then builds onto the next one, allowing that over a week, not only can we create new raving fans into your world, creating a marketing and lead generation process, but also allows you to turn people who weren't able to purchase immediately into those raving fans who now are ready to not only purchase, but share your message with others as well, because it deeply resonates with their specific needs. Now, this is all baked into what it looks like to really be able to turn your message into a movement and multiply your message. Now, the key factor to this is being able to do this consistently and quickly, so this doesn't become a temporary attempt at creating that transformation. Now, I want to share with you how we use our easy yes method to apply everything we've shared here today to create a consistent formula for how you not only extend your reach, but create faster conversions. And it starts with having the message that can create a movement, which is why why the very first thing we do within the EasyS method is we develop your innovative GAT methodology. Simply put, your message needs to cut through the noise of the online space. And in order to do that, it comes down to being able to identify where your biggest opportunities are to create an innovative and radical message. This is why we support our clients in creating their own innovative advantage so that they can cut through the noise and speak to high intent leads who are ready to buy and craft a message that specifically speaks to their innovation in a way that makes them instantly understood and their gravity fully felt. Which leads us to the second step in the EasyS method, which is our infinite sales highway. The infinite sales highway revolutionized how marketing and sales is done because it's flipping how we actually get people to buy. The reason this works so well is that we create a pathway that allows everyone to come in through your bingeable sales system, allowing them to make quick and fast decisions through a bingeable mimic decision-making process. Simply put, what we did is we took the natural course of action people go through in order to make decisions, and we expedited that, allowing them to do that in a matter of hours instead of months, if not years. Now, the second step to that process is now that we've gotten your high intent leads and move them to a conversion point quickly, our next goal is to take people who weren't quite ready. We do this and take them through a separate pathway that allows us to speak to their specific and unique needs on a weekly client acquisition system that uses just 4 pieces of content. We call this our inbound demand marketing system. Now, by using a dual lane sales approach, what this allows us to do is to create faster conversions for our highest intent leads while still being able to maintain and create infinite sales opportunities through our mid intent leads until they are ready to purchase, allowing you to spend less time, money, and resources on trying to attract new leads into your business and instead shifting your focus to being able to convert the leads that are inside of your pipeline. Now, the third and final piece is what we call our pure profit strategy, which simply put allows you to create results at scale for your clients. The reality is having a business that's sustainable for years and years to come comes down to your ability to be able to achieve the results that you promise to your clients and then being able to scale that. Using our results and retention process, we help our clients create results at scale for their clients, allowing them to create raving fans who become their 2 biggest message movers, their referrals and retention clients. This is why 416 of my clients have been able to exponentialize their message and create a movement with just 1 hour of marketing a day, which leads us to our next step. If you've enjoyed this episode and you find value in it, we'd love if you'd subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with others who can also find value in it. And if you're listening and you're ready to take your message to the next level and create a movement so that allows you to multiply that message and create consistent reach that takes your business to the next level, I want to invite you to the next steps. If you're ready to see what this looks like and how we can actually apply this to your business, I want to invite you to a growth optimization call. You can book that call at easysleads.com/call. On this call, you and I will sit down, we'll look at your current strategy, and I'll identify for you where your biggest opportunity points are and how you can actually exponentialize your reach using the EasyS method. And if you want to learn more about how the EasyS method works, I want to invite you to our free bingeable audio series. In this audio series, I break down exactly how we use the Netflix effect to create a movement of raving fans and how we help you become the known and paid industry thought leader without spending all of your time on social media. You can visit easysleads.com to check out that series now. And until next time, here's to keeping it real.